Well, hello and welcome to another This OMG Fishing video session here, and I'm in my new lair. I got ousted from my previous man cave and decided that I needed to convert the garage into my new man cave, so this is where I'll be operating for the next little while, and I'll give a tour of it a little bit later. I got a few things planned for the future as to what direction I'm going to go with this channeling, and a few pleasant surprises, I think. I'm going to expand my horizons, do a lot of learning videos, I would say. So that being said, the weather outside is absolutely fantastic right now if you want a suntan. Not so fantastic if you want to ice fish. And I really wanted to ice fish, but I can't, so next best thing, I thought I'd just make myself something for my next ice fishing outing. So today, you can join me in making a Smitty sled. For those of you who don't know what a Smitty sled is, it is a frame on a set of skis that you would put your plastic sled, your ice fishing sled, on top of or make a part of. And the purpose of it is it reduces your pull on your sled by 3/4. It's quite a bit, actually. I was watching a video where the fellow had a scale, and he tried this out, and the difference was considerable. Where originally he had, I think it was 12 pounds of pressure to move just the plastic sled. With the Smitty sled, it was 3 pounds. So, you know, not being a spring chicken myself, that'd probably be a good idea to try this out and see if it works. So, I decided, well, we'll go ahead, I'm going to make it out of PVC. So, some of the stuff that you will need, and I'll put a list of the items on the side here for you. It's PVC piping. So this here has to be black. You can get it in white. I prefer to have had the white, but I couldn't find white in the 1.25" size. It was really difficult to find, and it's not the cheapest stuff in the world. So you'll need a length of that, and this is the 1-inch PVC white. And it's nice and rigid, holds well, very firm. So what else will we need? We need ends, because these are going to become our legs. And I'll show you all of the components as we progress along. I've partially built the Smitty sled, so just for ease of effort, I thought I would do that. And the other major component that you'll need is a set of skis. Now you can use cross-country skis, you can use downhill skis. It doesn't really matter, I don't think anyways, but I'll find out once I take this out, whenever we get some snow, and give it a whirl. So the one thing, you want to decommission all of the bindings on here. Don't throw out your screws. Keep your screws, because they will come in handy a little bit later. So, stick with me and we'll build ourselves a Smitty sled. Okay, so obviously you need your sled, and mine is a Trek 60 by Pelican. It's a fairly good sized sled. I've used it for a few years, and it's served me quite well. Some of the other components that you'll want to think about getting are these here. It's a 3-way. Now, what I've done is I've measured where I want this to sit on top of my frame, and I came out with 32 inches this way. And then it was think it was 17.5 this way if I wanted it to sit just on that. But I want to put my my pop-up or my auger on this as well. So I went out and I did it at 27.5 this way, 32 this way. And I built put a second row in on the framework close to the outside where the pop-up's going to sit or the auger's going to sit, so that when I get to where I'm going fishing, I can set up my pop-up if I want, or just take my pop-up off, and I can actually put my my sonar unit on it. So it's, if there happens to be some water on the ice or whatever, then it's out of the way, and I can just fasten it to the side of this, and everything sits just nice. So the other part is, this would be the framework that runs along this part here, and attached to that is going to be a leg, and the leg is 12 inches. I think that gives me enough height. I can get over some snow, and it doesn't make the sled really wobbly. So I was showing you before where we had the 1.25" black PVC with the end cap, and all that is, this fastens onto the ski. So if this were the ski, it would sit here, and then this just pops right in it and sits like that. So this the skis become separate, so you can collapse this down into a very easy maneuverable size. So legs are all separate, and then the frame, you can either glue the frame or not. I'm going to try it first off without gluing it and take a chance. Hopefully it won't fall apart, but I don't anticipate that. Once these things are in nice and tight and everything gets put together, it's a pretty solid setup. So I'm not going to worry too much about that being an issue. And I think that gets you on the road. You need a saw, a tape measure, and some screwdrivers, obviously, to reconnect everything. So the next step here is to build the frame, and then we'll put the legs onto the skis, and that'll be that. It'll be all set and ready to go. Okay, so I decided not to bore you with, watching me cut stuff up and everything. So essentially, this here is the framework. And everything just fits in here like this. So this was the frame that runs down the length of the sled. This is the width. And what I decided to do was do the second row. This is what I was talking about, where the sonar would sit. And I ended up getting, instead of like a T, I got a four corner piece. I don't know really what to call it. So that A, I could add this in, but B, I can add another component onto the end. So if I want to do an extension piece onto here, which I probably will do, I just put an elbow on here, and I'll run an extension up, and then I can put my GoPro on it. So it's one of these projects that, as you progress with it, it evolves, it changes, it morphs into many things. And part of the reasoning for that is, when you start on something like this, you do a lot of research. Well, I do a lot of research, so I go online. I think the inspiration on this one was from YouTube. It's Hunt Fish Camp, and he made one out of this ABS piping, and I was just kind of following suit with that, but I thought I would give my own twist to it to suit my own needs. And like, you can do anything with these things. Like, money is the only stopping factor. Your imagination certainly isn't. So again, the legs are here. These will get fastened onto the ski, which I'll show you in a second. And yeah, there's not a whole lot to it. I'm going to put it together, and we'll be back in a second. Okay, so essentially I have it all framed up. This here is what it's going to look like. And of course we have sleeves for each of these. Now, as I had said, the next step is to put this end cap onto the ski. And what I'll do is I'm just going to take a drill bit that's a little bit smaller than this here, which is hardware that I took off of the bindings. I'm going to drill 2 holes in it, and then I'm going to line them up on the ski. So I've marked out on the ski where these ends are, and that's where I'm going to fasten these two. So these just slide right onto it. And I've got one right here. So as I was saying, here's my ski. Here is my end cap. And I've drilled this one out here. You can see I put 2 in. I've drilled into the ski. And you just screw this in. It's already pretty good on here. That just fits right in there. You can either glue this in or not. It's actually in there pretty good. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to epoxy the screws in. Probably put some epoxy underneath the cap as well. The cap's not exactly flat. I'm going to sand it down a little bit, get it as flat as I can. And just so that it sits straight and doesn't, make my Smitty sled look like it has octopus legs on it. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Another thing that I wanted to mention as well is in the ski tip, I've drilled a hole through. And the reason for that is so that I can put this rope on here. And this is going to be my pull rope. Now I've fixed up 2 of these to both the same length. And what I'll do is I have a harness that'll hook each ski up to once everything is connected together, and all should be well. That should be all the components and pieces that you need to get you going. The rest are just like add-ons. So we'll get to a few of those in a minute. Alright, so here's the finished product. I added a couple of extra bits and pieces on there, so you have to excuse the sound of my birds. I put some anti-skid strips on the front and back where the sled's going to go. That's the yellow and the black. And then I added also some rod holders and various other holders to this as well. Now, I haven't taken it out for a test drive yet, but everything seems to have lined up right. Everything seems to work. So I'm just going to take a second. I'm going to load it up and show you what it looks like loaded up. Okay, so this is pretty much the whole rig kitted out. It's got all my stuff. The only thing I don't have in here is my spud bar and a little chair, but there's lots of room for that. So yeah, I think this is going to work just perfectly. Now I'm going to sort of take some stuff apart and put my fish finder and stuff on there just to see how that fits into the scheme of things. Okay, so there we are. The fish finder's on the end. Sits on there just nicely. Actually tucks in behind the little rod holders and sits nice and flat on that rail, and has the sled as the backdrop. So I think this is going to work out pretty good. I have the little pipe stand at the back. Make sure you can see that. And I'll take it from the other side, and that's where the camera stuff will go. Okay, so here's the last part I wanted to show you. I just built that little extension on there that can hold my tripod, which will hold my phone or my GoPro camera. And we've got the sonar right there. All of this is working out quite well. So hopefully we'll get this out on the ice sooner than later.
That's what I'm talking about right there.